There comes a quiet point in life when the silence feels louder than any sound you remember. You look at your phone and something inside you already knows it will probably stay still again today. That hurts in a way few words can fully hold, not because of the phone, but because of what it means. It can make you wonder if you still cross anyone's mind, if anyone still feels the need to hear your voice. You may not say that out loud. You may carry it quietly, like so many other things. You may smile when someone asks how you are. You may say, "I'm fine," and let the deeper truth stay hidden. But deep down, you know the evenings feel longer now. The house feels larger. The hours feel harder. There was a time when the phone rang for simple reasons. A question, a laugh, a plan, a familiar hello. Now whole days can pass without one real conversation, sometimes even longer. And yes, that changes something inside you. It is not only the silence that hurts. It is the feeling of slowly disappearing from other people's daily lives. You may wake up and hear nothing but the hum of the refrigerator, maybe the coffee maker, maybe your own footsteps. You make your breakfast the same way you always have. One plate, one cup, one quiet chair at the table. Maybe you glance at the phone while stirring your coffee. Just a quick look, just in case something came through. No missed calls, no message, no little sound to break the morning open. You tell yourself not to take it personally. You try to be reasonable. You tell yourself everyone is busy. Still, a small ache settles into your chest. It stays there while the day moves slowly around you. Maybe you fold laundry in a quiet room. Maybe the television stays on for company more than interest. Maybe you sit by the window in the late afternoon. Cars pass. The light changes. The phone stays silent. Weekends can feel especially strange. They used to mean something. Family, errands, visits, phone calls, plans, a sense of movement. Now a weekend can feel like any other day. Just longer, just quieter, just a little more empty. Sometimes you think about calling someone first. You even reach for the phone, then stop. You do not want to bother anyone. You do not want to catch them at a bad time. You do not want to feel that pause in their voice, that distracted tone, that sense they need to go. So you put the phone back down, and the silence continues, not because you do not care, but because you care so much. If this feels familiar, stay here with me for a moment. You do not have to push the feeling away. You are not being too sensitive. You are not making something out of nothing. When the phone stops ringing, it can touch old fears. The fear of being forgotten, the fear of not mattering anymore. That feeling does not come from weakness. It comes from love, memory, and the deep human need to be wanted. A quiet life can be peaceful sometimes, but peace and loneliness are not the same thing. You know the difference. Your heart knows it right away. Part of this happens because life changes, even when you never asked it to change this much. Retirement can do that. One day your time belonged to a rhythm, a place, a purpose. Then that structure fades, and many little contacts fade with it. Fewer people check in. Fewer people need you every day. Losing a husband or wife can change everything too. Not just love, but routine, noise, and simple daily conversation. The person who once said your name 10 times a day is no longer there. That kind of silence cuts deep. Friendships can thin out over time. Some people move, some get sick, some pass away, some simply drift. Children grow busy with work, bills, traffic, school schedules, and problems of their own. Love may still be there, but time becomes harder for them to give. Calls get shorter, visits get delayed, messages come later. Your body may change too. Driving may feel harder, stairs may feel heavier, getting out may take more effort. And when getting out becomes harder, staying connected becomes harder too. The world gets smaller without asking your permission. Even family gatherings can feel different now. You may be there, but not fully included in every conversation. Voices move fast. Topics change quickly. Phones light up in younger hands. You sit there smiling but feel far away. That kind of loneliness is hard to explain. You can be surrounded and still feel unseen. Sometimes the hardest part is how normal you try to act. You do not want anyone to worry. You do not want pity. You do not want to sound needy. You only want to feel remembered. There may be moments when you hear your phone buzz and your heart lifts. Then it is only a spam call. That little rise and fall can hurt more than you expect. Hope can be tender at this stage of life. You may wait for birthdays, holidays, or Sundays. You may think maybe today someone will have more time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they do not. And each time it does not happen, something in you gets quieter. You may miss small things more than big things. Not grand events, just simple contact. A voice saying, "I was thinking about you." A quick check-in, a real question, a few unhurried minutes. You may miss being part of someone's ordinary day. That may be what hurts most. Not being needed in an emergency, not being called for advice, not being included in little updates. After a while, silence can start talking to you. It can tell you things that are not fair. It can whisper that your time has passed, that nobody needs you now, that you should expect less. Please do not believe that voice. Silence can be loud, but it is not always truthful. The phone does not measure your worth. A quiet screen does not tell the whole story of your life. Still, it is okay to admit the pain. In fact, that is where healing often begins. So let me ask you something softly. When do you feel this silence the most? Is it in the morning with your coffee? In the evening when the light gets low? Is it on Sundays? On birthdays? After a doctor visit? After hearing other families laugh together? Just noticing that moment matters, not to judge yourself, only to understand your own heart a little better. Because once you see the hardest moments clearly, you can meet them more gently. And yes, there is still something hopeful here. Not loud hope, not false cheer, just steady human hope. Loneliness does not mean your life is over. Silence does not mean love is gone forever. It means life has changed shape, and now you may need new ways to feel connected. That can feel unfair. It can also be true at the same time. You do not need to become a different person. You do not need to pretend the hurt is not real. But you can begin with one honest step. A very small one is enough. The first step may be naming the feeling without shame. Not "I'm being foolish," not "I should be stronger." Just this: "I feel lonely today." Simple, clear, kind. There is quiet power in saying the truth plainly. It stops the feeling from hiding in dark corners. When you name it, you are not giving up. You are giving yourself understanding. The second step may be noticing your hardest hours. Every heart has a pattern. Maybe late afternoon feels heavy. Maybe after dinner is the worst. Maybe mornings feel long and exposed. When you notice that pattern, you can prepare for it, not with pressure, with care. If evenings are hardest, plan one gentle thing before the loneliness settles in. You might play one favorite song while making tea. You might sit outside for 10 minutes. You might call one person before you talk yourself out of it, not 3 people, just one. The third step may be making contacts smaller in your mind. It does not have to be a long visit. It can be a short message, a simple thinking of you, a small wave sent into the world. Sometimes pride gets in the way, and that is understandable. You do not want to chase love. But reaching out is not begging. It is not weakness. It is a human bridge. And if one person does not answer quickly, that does not mean you made a mistake. People can be distracted, tired, or careless. Their delay is not a full picture of your value. The fourth step may be building tiny routines that return some warmth to your days. Routine matters more than most people realize. It gives shape to hours that might otherwise feel empty. A short walk at the same time, a call with a neighbor once a week, a visit to the same store where someone knows your face, a class, a church group, a library stop. Not because these things erase loneliness at once. They do not, but they gently interrupt it. Even one familiar place can remind you that you still belong somewhere in the living world. The fifth step may be protecting your self-worth from the silence around you. This matters deeply because loneliness often tries to rewrite your story in a cruel way. It tries to tell you that less contact means less importance. That is simply not true. You are still the same person who loved deeply, worked hard, gave generously, and carried others through hard times. You are still the same person with memory, humor, tenderness, wisdom, and a life no silence can erase. Your worth did not shrink because the world got distracted. Your value did not fade because others got busy. If anything, this season asks you to hold yourself with more respect, not less. There may also be one more step, and it is a brave one. Let someone know the truth. Not the full ache all at once if that feels too hard. Just a small true sentence. You might say, "I miss hearing your voice," or "Evenings feel a little quiet for me lately." That kind of honesty can open a door. Sometimes people do not realize how long the silence has become. They may love you and still fail to notice. That hurts, but it happens. A gentle truth can wake people up better than silent disappointment. And if someone still does not respond with care, that tells you something important too. It tells you where not to place all your hope. It helps you choose better places for your heart. Connection may not always come from the people you expected. That can be painful, but also freeing. Sometimes warmth comes from a neighbor, a cousin, an old friend, a support group, a kind cashier. Sometimes it comes from one person who listens well, not 10 who barely notice. You do not need a crowded social life to feel human again. Often you only need one real thread. One real conversation can soften a whole day. One caring voice can steady a restless heart. And please remember this too. There is no age limit on being understood. There is no age where comfort stops mattering. No age where companionship becomes too much to ask for. You are not foolish for wanting to be called. You are not childish for missing attention. You are not needy for wanting closeness. You are alive. That is all. A living heart still reaches. A loving heart still hopes, even after loss, even after disappointment. So if your phone has been quiet lately, do not turn that into a judgment against yourself. Turn it into a sign that your heart still wants connection and that desire deserves respect. Maybe today you place the phone beside you with a little less sadness. Maybe you breathe a little easier. Maybe you stop blaming yourself for what has changed around you. That alone would be a gentle beginning. And maybe tonight, instead of saying "no one thinks of me," you say something kinder. You say, "This is a hard moment, but I still matter." You say, "My life still has meaning." You say, "Silence is here today, but it does not get to define me." That is not false comfort. That is dignity. That is emotional truth spoken with care. If no one has told you this lately, let me tell you now. You are not invisible. You are not a burden. You are not too old to be deeply understood. You are not the only one who feels this ache when the phone stays silent. And more importantly, this ache does not cancel your place in the world. Your story still matters. Your presence still matters. Your voice still matters, even when the room is quiet. There is still warmth ahead. It may look different now, but different does not mean finished. There can still be laughter in a short call, comfort in a small routine, peace in one honest connection. There can still be mornings that feel lighter, evenings that feel less empty, days that hold a little more life. So be gentle with yourself tonight. Set down the blame you were never meant to carry. If you need to, place a hand over your heart and sit quietly for a moment. Let yourself feel what you feel without shame. Then let a little hope sit beside it. You do not have to solve your whole life today. You only have to take care of this one moment. And if this message felt close to your life, you can stay connected here with me. If you want, leave a simple comment and say, "I understand this." You do not have to explain more. And if this voice brought you a little comfort, you can like this video and subscribe for more gentle talks. Until next time, please remember this. A quiet phone does not mean a forgotten life.